we go, back again with another video, and today we're going to talk about a couple of subjects, but first of all we will start with Danny Ballard. Yes, Danny Ballard's injury update. Now there's an update coming out of the Michael O'Neill camp. My source also says that it shouldn't be too bad. It shouldn't be too bad, but let's hear basically what Michael O'Neill has to say. Update given on the situation with Sunderland's Daniel Ballard. Now this is very important information. We cannot afford to lose such a fantastic defender like Danny Ballard straight away. The defender is part of Michael O'Neill's squad ahead of the Euro 24 qualifiers against Slovenia and Kazakhstan, but he may not feature in either fixture following an injury issue as he picked up. Ballard has featured in all 5 league games for the Black Cats so far this season, but he has suffered from injury concerns in recent past. The centre-back was only available for 19 appearances in the Championship in the previous campaign, and the fitness causing him issues throughout the year. Now, before we continue with this, I've also got news on Nazari Rushin, and also to do with contract talks, to do with players that really we should be signing under a longer contract. What has Michael O'Neill said about Daniel Ballard's fitness? Speaking ahead of Thursday night's clash away to Slovenia, O'Neill offered an update on the 23-year-old. The former Stoke City boss indicated that he could miss the trip to Ljubljana, but that he could be available for the clash against Kazakhstan on Sunday evening. Wow, that's pretty good. Let's hope, though, he's not needed and he's rested, because we need him to be rested, to be fair. We left Daniel in the UK. He went back to Sunderland to be assessed and joined up with us on Tuesday, said O'Neill via the Sunderland Echo. He is still an injury doubt, but we had to make a close call based on his fitness. If the game against Slovenia is too soon, he has a greater chance of playing in the second game. Ballard is a key part of the Northern Ireland side that we are aiming to qualify for the European Championships in Germany next summer. Northern Ireland have played 4 of the 10 fixtures. Sometimes I read things and it just comes out completely different out my mouth. In the campaign already and sit in 4th place. O'Neill's side have 3 points from those 4 fixtures, claiming a 2-0 win against San Marino. So there we go. Danny Ballard. Tony Mowbray will also be keeping a close eye on his fitness, as Ballard is a key figure for Sunderland in their attempts to fight for promotion to the Premier League. Sunderland went into the international break off the back of a fantastic 5-0 thumping against Southampton. The result shot the team up to 9th place in the championships. That's absolutely brilliant. So the next game's against QPR, but Danny Ballard, my source says it shouldn't be too big of an issue. So if that's the case, I'd be happy, and I'm sure you will be as well, if Danny Ballard is rested completely in this international break. That's what we need. Now, Nazari Rushin is in England. He's come to Sunderland. The visa must have went through. He has been spotted on a plane coming to Sunderland, and here's a picture now and a tweet or whatever it is. There we go. Nazari Rushin is here. I'm pleased about that. He can join up with his teammates, can start training, and the injury isn't supposed to be that bad. He's getting over it pretty quickly and pretty, happy days, I should say, happy days. So there we go. I also have another channel called Mads Out and About. If you like to sample different parts of the Northeast and even different parts of the world, pop over there to Mads Out and About. Take a look. If you like what you see, subscribe to the channel. It'd be much appreciated. I'll leave a link down below in the description. Now, contract talks. We all know Speakman's interview the other day. We've seen Speakman's interview the other day. He does talk well, and credit where credit's due. To be fair, the transfer window has been a pretty good one, apart from, just losing Danny Bart. And Danny Bart, that's why this Ballard is important to stay fit, because it makes Danny Bart issue look more of a problem than really. Wait, there's a big problem, to be honest. We should have kept Danny Bart. But Pritchard is up in the summer. Now, Pritchard being up in the summer, would you be wanting to keep Pritchard and give him another couple of years at Sunderland? 30 now, up to 32. Do you think he deserves another contract right now for another, maybe he's extended for another year? What would you do if you were the boss? Now also, Patrick Roberts is due up in the summer as well. Surely we should be giving Patrick Roberts a better contract than what he's on right now. Extend his contract like we have done to so many players. Now is Patrick Roberts one of those players, because he's about 27, that they're humming and hawing about. Now, what's this? Now, do you think, because Patrick Roberts is 27 now, I think he's 27 now. If he is 27, is he on that peripheral of being like closer to 30, where our regime want the younger players to come through? Are they thinking maybe his bar is a good replacement? Maybe we've got other ones coming in. Or do you think we should sign? I think we should sign down, give him another 2-year contract over the top of the summer, keep him here up until probably 2026. Personally, that's just my opinion. What's yours down below? Does he get a good contract? And also, Bradley Dack's on a 1-year contract with an option for another year. We already know this. What's your thoughts on Bradley Dack so far? He seems to be getting into the team and growing into the team quite nicely. I think everyone had a really good game at the weekend. Now we're going to move on to something else that's just cropped up. It's a Mad Diallo again. This is an exclusive, and I'll tell you who it's from in a bit. But Sunderland turned down the opportunity to secure early Amad Diallo return. Sunderland retain an interest in bringing Manchester United winger Amad Diallo back to Wearside, but have opted to wait instead. Now, if he comes to Sunderland, do we pay part of his loan and Manchester United pay part of his loan, or do we pay the majority of it, or do we pay nothing? How does loan deals work? Let me know down in the comments below if you know, if you had some inside information. Amad Diallo was pushing to do his rehabilitation from injury at Sunderland rather than Manchester United, such as his desire to return to Wearside. Sunderland Nation can exclusively reveal, so Sunderland Nation, whoever this is. The Ivorian enjoyed a stunning spell at Sunderland last season, and there was a strong willingness on both sides for the second loan this campaign too. Initially, Manchester United wanted to take a good look at Amad progress over the summer, but those plans collapsed when he picked up an injury pre-season. Amad, though, generally loved his time on Wearside, and he wanted to return to the club on loan this summer with an idea of doing his rehab at Sunderland before returning to action in late October and November. Wow. Boss Tony Moby was very happy with that agreement, especially since Manchester United were happy to cover the vast majority of the player's wages. That deal did not happen, though, because Sunderland instead decided to wait for Amad to complete his recovery at Manchester United before trying to do the deal in January, as they were unwilling to take an injured player on loan. So what's your thoughts on that? Sunderland will now face nervous wait to see if their deal can go through in the January transfer window. Amad has made it clear that Sunderland would be his preferred destination for another loan, although competition will be high in January if the Black Cats are not in promotion contention. He may find himself with more enticing options. So there we go. Amad wanted to come to Sunderland and wanted to do his rehabilitation at Sunderland. What's your thoughts on that? That's new information to me. Now, personally, I can see why they didn't want him to bring to Sunderland. If he's injured, he may never get back from his injury as quick as they say, October, November, and we are paying parts of his wage. But would you have thought, yes, let's tie him down to a season-long loan now, because if he gets back, it's a Brucey bonus, especially if Manchester United are paying the majority of his wages. For me, I'd have been tempted to bring him to the club. Personally, that's my opinion. But, end of the day, I'm not in charge. And we can't really criticise Speakman and KLD as much as we thought we were going to try and do before the transfer window closed, because I think the deals that have been done have been pretty good, and I think I'm very satisfied with the transfer window. In hindsight, looking back, I'm very satisfied now. I wasn't satisfied the day before, but overall, in the bigger picture, I'm satisfied with only the one thing: Danny Batth should have stayed at the club. I'll always say that, and I'm happy to say that, because just in case, especially with the likes of Alessi being injury prone and out for a long time as well. So me, Danny Batth would have been a good player to stay at the club, and Amad getting him in now would have been great. So there we go. What's your thoughts on all those situations? I'm happy about Danny Ballard because we do need him. If he stays injury free all season, touch wood, then the Danny Batth thing goes away. So I'm happy with that. So there we go. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Give us a thumbs up. Try to bring you content whenever it's available. Keep you informed, up to date. I know a lot of people don't watch TV or read newspapers or whatever, but I just like to watch this daft lad or, end of the day. Thank you for watching the daft lad. All right, we'll see you later. Take care. God bless me. God go with you. See you next time on The Mad Mistake. Yes, thank you. Stop recording. Right now, I'll read out a couple of interesting comments from the previous video, like I said I would do, that caught my eye. Adam SD22OW. We inserted a few items into the deal that saw Ekwa depart for Sunderland. Stated X on the West Ham Way podcast. Firstly, there is a 35% sell-on clause, which is significant. There are also appearance-related payments, so when he plays 20, 40, 60 games, etc., we receive additional monies. There is, however, no buyback clause, unfortunately, so West Ham have no rights to sign the player back ahead of any other clubs. The Ekwa deal with regards to West Ham's part. There we go, thank you, Adam. Very interesting indeed. Leeson23 said this. Why do they need to clean up after their ladies match? They have concerts on successive days with no problem. And that's with more mess to clean up. Well, there we go, because we have a day between the ladies game, when they play Scotland ladies and Sunderland versus Cardiff. Maybe it's because it's a late ladies game. May have to refill up all of the alcohol as well, and all the beverages and food and everything for the thirsty and Sunderland hungry fans coming on the Sunday. Thank you very much for that comment. Also, last one, Ron Lapworth 5805 says, last seen in Paris rushing. If you're in Paris, would you want to rush to Sunderland? There we go. Thanks for the comments. There's many more. All great, fantastic comments on there. And same again, next video, couple of comments. I'll read them out. Cheers for being involved in the comments. Thumbs up and subscribe. See you later. We'll read now through a couple of comments from the last previous video. I said I would give a shout out to some interesting comments. And Adam SDSOW says this about Pierre Ekwa. We inserted a few items into the deal that saw Ekwa depart for Sunderland. Stated X. Now I'll read out a couple of comments I thought were interesting from the previous video. We inserted a few items into the deal that saw Ekwa. Fuck, man, speak fucking proper English, you daft divvy. Right, so now I'll read out a couple of comments. The interesting comments. Interesting comments. Leeson23 said, why do they need a day to clean up after the ladies' match? They have concerts on successful days. Successive days. Blah.